Hello and welcome back to another update. This week I've been improving the player hitbox, how drop works, some work to the gun, and also there's a new enemy. Let's check it out. What's up everyone, my name is Kaarin and this week I improved some old work that wasn't quite done and I added some new stuff as well. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates like this. Cheers! I began this week with the player hitbox. The problem was when the player runs around, he can easily get stuck to a wall and that is not the idea. Turns out the hitbox code was wrong. There's a check for left and right depending on what direction the player is moving, and also for up and down. But for some reason I used the same code for the up and down as left and right. No wonder why the player got stuck in the walls. A quick change in that and the player now moves around as intended. I thought this would require me to change the entire collision detection code for the player, but I had just made a small mistake and that was easily fixed. Ever since I added the gun for the player into the game, I've considered where and how the player will get it. I wasn't sure if he should have it from the start or if he should find it in a level. So, after some consideration, I decided to make it obtainable in a level. And once you have it, you can use it for the rest of the game. It will hover around just like any other object that you can pick up. But before I could get it to work, I had to complete a few things. First, I had to add it into the object atlas so I can place it in the levels in the editor. I simply copied the gun from the player atlas, added some more colors to it, and to make sure it ain't too small in the game, I played around with different sizes to make it look alright. So now it hovers around nicely in the game. Next up was to add some code for checking if the player is on top of the gun and to add it into the player inventory. This was done by adding the gun into the object atlas list and giving it an ID. The gun will also use ammo, which is something I added this week. Instead of having unlimited ammo, I thought it would be better to have a set amount of ammo. So I began to make some simple art to display it. I just made a shotgun shell in GIMP and it looks fine. With that, I also made an image of an empty ammo slot. It will be drawn whenever the player is not full on ammo. With the implementation of ammo, I also added a short cooldown to the shooting. This way the player can't spam shoot like crazy, and it's currently set to 0.5 seconds. But that can be changed later if I want to increase the shooting speed or decrease it. Another thing I worked on was how drops should work in the game. Rather than to just have them spawn when the player loads the level, they can now be found in chests as well. There was a few types of chests in one of the asset packs from the last update. So far I've only added one into the game and I might add the rest later. They work pretty basic. You go close to the chest and hit it with the axe and it will open up. Depending on what type of chest it is, it will give different types of loot. And if a heart drops and while you're at full health, you won't pick it up. It will hover there until you need it. Same goes for ammo. Something that came with each enemy pack was a death animation. I never implemented them because it wasn't very important at the time. But now, when things are getting closer to the end, it was a good time to do that. It looks bad when the enemy just disappear when you kill them. Since most of the work when it comes to animation is already done, there wasn't much that was required to add it. When the enemy dies, it changes the animation to death, and once it's been through a full animation, the enemy disposes. One thing I wanted to add for some time was another enemy of range type, a simple archer. This was never added because I never really found any good art for it. All I found was this guy in this comment section of the skeleton enemy I'm using that have made an archer version of the skeleton. It would have been cool to use this art, but since it's not him who is the original owner of the art, using it would probably not be allowed. So I had to make it myself. I started by using the animations from the default skeleton, but I removed the axe. The walking and death animations was quite easy to add. I didn't need to alter the skeleton at all. Just remove the axe and add the bow where it would look good. I've said it before and I'll say it again, art is not my strong side. However, after spending a few hours testing and making sure it's all working, I got something decent. I used a website where I can make the animations online, and that's very good for checking if the sprites are offset or anything like that. I can also download the animation into a PNG where all the sprites are correct. There's probably more tools out there that can do this, but this one is easy and just what I need for now. With this new enemy, there had to be a new projectile, the arrow. I had already some basic code for this type of projectile, so it wouldn't take too long. I started by making a simple arrow in GIMP that I would be using for the archer. Once that was done, I added it into the code and played around with some values, such as how fast the archer should fire it. Since the animation is only 8 sprites long, I set a short duration when the skeleton is holding the arrow before shooting it. This way he won't be shooting so fast. In the end, it looks alright. I will be using this one. Kinda looks like the archer is a bit surprised when it's about to fire. The last objective for this week was ads. I wanted to get some ads into the game, but I had no idea how they worked. But apparently it requires minimal work on my side to get them to work. Most what I need to do is to set up an account on Google AdMob and link that account ID to the app itself. Right now they're not placed exactly where they're supposed to be. I'm still trying them out, testing how they work and such. I will have an ad display after the player completes a level, that's the idea anyways. And I will continue to work on them and where to display them and how often they will appear. I will also make sure they won't appear too often like some apps do. For next update I will start building the levels themselves. I also found a nice website for background music that I will be using. I'm starting to see the light in the end of this tunnel for this game. It's taken way longer than I expected and I really want to finish this one. That is all for this week, folks. I hope that you found it interesting and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day. Bye.